Cannabis Common Sense, the show that tells the truth about marijuana and the politics behind its prohibition.
Being Seattle Hemp Fest and being the largest, most sophisticated cannabis policy reform event in the world, we try to make things up to you. You know, we're going to do a countdown for the 420 here and all that stuff, but you know, I'll tell you, we felt so bad about the fact that Tommy couldn't be here that we decided to do something about it.
You know, there's been this rumor floating around, and I'm going to address it right now. I got to tell you people that I decided to quit smoking. And then I realized, hey, I'm not a quitter. Some people. First of all, I want to thank all the vendors. I want to thank the Seattle Hemp Fest for having me out here. I want to thank all these volunteers who work so hard for no money. A lot of volunteers around here. I want to thank the police for keeping the peace. I want to thank some people who don't get a lot of credit and really deserve it. I want to thank those people walking around here selling magic cookies, brownies. They don't get the credit they deserve. You guys are definitely the most energized pot smokers I've ever run across. I think it was appropriate to start here in Seattle because it's the home of the place where the young and the young of heart took to the streets and flashed a giant neon sign saying, "We're not putting up with this shit anymore. WTO, go home. Find an island." It's because there's an amazing propaganda machine in this country. Don't you think? I mean, it's a propaganda machine that makes us actually believe that we live in a democracy when we know we don't live in a democracy. I mean, it's a propaganda machine that talks about us living in a free country when we know we're not living in a free country. You're free to do whatever you want to do as long as it doesn't go against what the government wants you to do. So how are we going to turn that around? I say things like this: the Seattle Hemp Fest are the way to turn this thing around. Every one of you people who showed up here today, you're making a statement, and I'm damn proud of you. And you know what I have to say? Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. And I think it will change. I think it'll change. Thank you all for coming out here today. I really love my heart.
pump light in the sunshine. Pulling soft palms and flipping on. You're with my hip-hop fans from Seatown to Flatlands. Get ready to launch. Never loaded on the radar.
Give me an H. Give me an E. Give me an M. Give me a P. Your turn. Outdo him. Give me an A. Give me an E. Give me an M. Give me a P. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the house band of Seattle Hemp Fest, the incredible Herbivores.
I can get on out of town, but this here town's my home. Ain't hurting nobody, so leave my ass alone. 'Cause it's a losing battle, now that the truth is out. Even the politicians have figured this thing out. You can go ahead and inhale prayers, might help you loosen your tie, and legalize the herb, and drop all the lies. 'Cause it's a losing battle. Wake up! Every struggle for freedom, they'll put us to the test. So it's time to exercise our rights and put on a hemp fest. And we'll educate the youth who soon will rule the land. 'Cause it's just a matter of time, and it's time to take a stand. 'Cause it's a losing battle, one that money can't win. Been going on for years, just keeps right on going. Like a Cold War with the commies, prohibition and the like. You can throw us all in prison, but you cannot win the fight. 'Cause it's a losing battle.
Good things for good people. This man Jim knows. Take a good look at him. He's been through it.
This is Vivian McPeak at Seattle Hemp Fest here in Myrtle Edwards Park. I'm with THC TV and Seattle Hemp Fest, and we just had Woody Harrelson speak, enjoying some munchies now and some refreshments. We've got the Herbivores, our house band playing. We've got so many people out there, I don't know how to count them.
Hey, Mr. Politician, time to wake up.
Lots of healthy oils have incredible anti-aging powers, but you may not know about some of them. Today I'm revealing the most potent oils that you are not eating. I'm joined by nutritionist and chef Monica Reineagle. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
We're not getting our daily dose of some of these oils. We make tons of mistakes. How do we know which are the oils that have true, powerful anti-aging properties?
Well, when you're shopping for oils at the grocery store, look at the label and look for the words cold pressed or expeller pressed, because that tells you that the oil's been extracted without heat and without chemical solvents, because these can degrade the nutritional quality and the anti-aging benefits of these oils.
We're going to walk you through the oils that I believe you are not eating. We're going to start with hemp oil.
This oil is great for cooking. With a rich, nutty flavor, hemp oil also contains an abundance of alpha-linolenic acid, which can actually reverse hardening of the arteries. Could this tasty oil be the secret to keeping your heart healthy for years to come?
So Monica, how does hemp oil help us age better?
Hemp oil helps keep your heart healthy as you age. It's one of the richest vegetable sources of omega-3 fatty acids.
And what's the best way to get into our diet?
Here's a trick. Take a stick of butter, real butter, put it in the blender with a half cup of hemp seed oil and blend it all up, and you're going to get a spread that has all the flavor of butter, but with only half the saturated fat.
This is it?
Yeah, nice helping of omega-3 fatty acids, and my favorite part is that this is smooth and spreadable right out of the refrigerator, so you're not going to tear up your toast with it.
It's got a cool color. The kids are going to like that.
Isn't that pretty? Yeah.
And you don't lose any of the benefit by mixing it with butter.
Absolutely not.
This is Mr. Henry Ford in 1941 with Popular Mechanics magazine showing off his car made from hemp.
Well, come climb the mountain with me. Come see what we can see. Come climb the mountain with me, and then we will all be free. Some men are born to lead, some men have destiny. Some men plant the seed, and some men set it free.
We had 92,000 cars a day, thousands of people parking behind the FBI building, and they arrested us and they said, you cannot do this. I said, well, I'm not going to pay you a fine and go on probation. So I did 15 days in prison rather than give them a $5 fine.
Wow, you know, that's kind of like telling Jesus you can't practice on Sunday. It was a fine line.
So come climb the mountain with me. Come see what we can see. Come climb the mountain with me, and then we will all be free.
Jack here and Ed Adair.
Well, hi, guys.
They must be on the hemp tour. Are you on the hemp tour?
One man said we must hear. One man's voice was clear. One man heard the call. His vision speaks for all.
The #1 plant for paper, fiber, and fuel from the natural cycle had been outlawed. That somehow the synthetic cycle had won, when the #1 thing in the natural cycle could outproduce it and completely clean up the atmosphere. So my partner, Captain Ed, who had become my partner in 1973 and doing the politics of this, said we have to teach everybody in the world. So we went around and told everybody. But it was a slow process.
So come open your eyes with me and come see what you can see. It's time for the world to know the emperor wears no clothes. Come open your eyes with me. It's time for you to see. It's time for the world to know the emperor wears no clothes. It's time for the world to know the emperor wears no clothes. The emperor wears no clothes. The emperor wears no clothes. The emperor wears no clothes.
I want to tell y'all a little bit about a plant I know that can save the world. It grows mornings on and has flowers that can make your heart swirl. It's a funky plant with a fiber that is resistant to rain and mold. It's the strongest plant fiber known to man, the best rope you'll ever hold. With the pioneers coming up the weapon trains with a canvas made of hemp. Washington and Jefferson, they grew on their farms and said to make the most of it. The first stars and stripes are so from him, the first Constitution too. Around the world for food, fiber, oil, medicine, and fuel. And if we bring the seeds, we won't have no need for any other oil. We can make paints and inks, run our cars, run back next to the little race. The soil, the most nutritious seed we can put in our mouth with omega-6 and 3. We can feed the world with the tree of life and make it sustainably. But if we cut down all the trees, we won't have no air free. We'll grow fields of hemp instead. We can make our paper, build a house from it. Gotta spend for a while and free, living the way that we ought to be. So leaving our children a better world than my ancestors left me. Whoa, whoa. La 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 la. the studies have been done and all the doctors agree, but they can't make money off this fantasy. Because it's free, it grows from seed, and wild and free like we are. Being on the future is growing in our own backyards. But if we cut down all the trees, we won't have nowhere to breathe. We'll grow fields and hemp instead. Can't make our kids from the house on the got to grow wild and free, living the way that we ought to be. Gonna leave my children a better world than my ancestors allowed me. Whoa, whoa. La 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 la. Whoa, whoa. Can bring us back 10,000 years in history. To the Shiva, piranhas, the Jesus, the Christ, to the Buddha, the pagans, the goddess, the light. She can be with all the animals, be one with all the trees. Realize the goddess is inside of me. Yes, the earth is the mother, the triple and the earth. The earth is the mother that gives us 5 birds. And we can get all our relation with a single green plant. We can start right now. We'll cut down all the trees. We won't have nowhere to breathe. We'll grow fields and help instead. We can make our place, we'll build a house on the wild and free, living the way that we are. Gonna leave my children a better world than my ancestors allowed me. Whoa. La 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 la. Whoa.
Speaker, as we near the midnight hour, as Wilson Pickett would say, in the midnight hour, we drift off to reefer madness type of logic. We saw reefer madness in the 30s, and it's come back to Congress here 80 some odd years later. The fact is, we're not talking about marijuana for children. Children shouldn't be doing marijuana, nor should they be smoking tobacco, nor should they be drinking beer or alcohol. We're talking about adults, and we're talking about should adults who are behaving according to the laws in the states in which they live, and the states pass certain laws in Colorado and Washington concerning legalization, and in 20 some odd other states in the District of Columbia pass medical marijuana laws. Should those people who abide by the laws of the state, the laws that is closest to them, that some on the other side of the aisle would regularly say we should defer to the states and we should let the states set the policies for everybody. We do that on a lot of things, but we sometimes don't do it on these particular issues. The fact that people are being incarcerated in great numbers and losing their liberty and having a scarlet M put on their chest that denies them public housing on occasions, denies them scholarships, denies them opportunities to work is wrong. And it's throwing, even if you take the arguments that the gentleman on the other aisle make, if you accept them, it still doesn't fit the punishment, the lifetime scarlet letter that you put on an individual. The Department of Justice is correct to respect the laws of the states and to put an understanding that heroin and crack and cocaine and meth are drugs, and prescription drugs are drugs that really cause the evils we have and the problems we have in society that make people commit crimes to feed their habits. Marijuana does not make people commit crime. It makes them overeat. It doesn't make them commit crimes. And that's why we need to prioritize the resources we have in this country toward those drugs that really cause problems to others. I commend the Department of Justice for their discretion. They haven't gone as far as they should. And the laboratories of democracies, the states, as Louis Brandeis called them, are doing a great service to this country in Colorado and Washington to see how it works. They're bringing in millions and millions of dollars. Violent crime has gone down in Colorado. There have not been the problems alleged to have occurred in others, and we can wait and see how those states' experiments go. And the Department of Justice is allowing the experiment to go on for other states' benefits. And I would yield.
Thank you, gentlemen. And I would say to you that since science tells us that the more drugs, whether it's marijuana or heroin or whatever, that is out there in society on shelves in homes, the more likely children will get involved in them. And as they do, in their young brains, young developing brains, they're more likely, 5 times risk, to have an addiction, and that is what gets them in prison. And trust me, my friend, I can tell the gentleman that whether it's marijuana or heroin or methamphetamine, as a drug addict once told me, all addicting substances are gateway to other addicting substances.
So should we make alcohol illegal again? That exercise and prohibition that was brought by this Congress that was proved to be such a failure that it was repealed later on? Should we make alcohol illegal because kids might get it? If I submit to you, if you want to do that, you be the leader.
Will the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir.
Alcohol has been a part of our society and culture for thousands of years. It's part of our religious practices. It was impractical to have prohibition.
Bourbon is part of our religious practices?
Alcohol is part of our religious practice.
Wine. So make wine legal. How about bourbon
alcohol.
And scotch and vodka and gin?
But also, so it's been culturally accepted for many generations, whereas marijuana hasn't. So if alcohol is a problem, why do we want to add another problem in the form of marijuana?
It's been culturally accepted not in your area, but in some cultures it has. And in the African American community, you are 8 times more likely to be arrested and sent to jail because of the color of your skin. It has a disparate impact on minorities, always has. And if you go back to the genesis of the laws in the 30s, it was made illegal because of discrimination against Hispanics. And in the 70s, Nixon, as is Haldeman and Ehrlichman, and they said, this is something we can't talk about African Americans in the inner city, but we can take their drug of choice and make it illegal.
The gentleman's time has expired.
I've lived in Greensboro about 10 years now, and I moved from Charlotte, where I grew up. I've been designing for full-time for about 3 years. I am pregnant. I am almost 7 months now. I just find myself thinking about him and how I want to raise him so protected, I think, you know, protected from chemicals and just show him a different way. People go and they buy some mass-produced t-shirt that has been dyed and has, you know, chemicals on it, and they put it on their body or on their baby, and it's going into you. Our skin is the largest organ on our body, and there are chemicals used in clothing to process fibers and fabric, and the dyeing is very toxic. And I've had clients specifically come to me because of that. They're allergic to dyes used in regular clothing, and they need something that's either a natural dye or not dyed at all.
Emporium is a South African hemp company that's been going since 1996. And it all started with something as simple as this, a little piece of cannabis canvas. And those words sound similar because they are similar. The word canvas comes from the same root as cannabis, and all canvas used to be made out of hemp. And that way it ties in with the history on using hemp in the sails, and obviously the ropes on all the boats as well. And even in South Africa, our Afrikaans word for shirt is hemp. We learned about that this was a durable fabric. It made perfect sense to make bags out of it. We started making many more products and using our clothing especially as a message taker. An eco-audit was done in Canada where they grew a hectare of conventional cotton and a hectare of conventional hemp and did the comparisons. And it was about 2,000 liters per t-shirt saving of water and about a cup of pesticides and agrochemicals. Hemp provides about 250% more fiber per hectare than cotton. So every shirt is making a difference.
This is hemp denim. It's hemp mixed with organic cotton, and I'm making a skirt. This I order from Hemp Traders, and I do that online. This is actually an order for a girl in San Francisco, and she ordered this and a blazer to go with it. So she got the whole outfit. There's so many variations on hemp fabrics these days. I mean, you can get the hemp silk, the hemp denim, hemp suede. There is hemp twill, hemp muslin, and they're beautiful fabrics that are all very breathable, comfortable, washable. You can tell the difference when you have the fabric in front of you and you feel it. It's just a quality thing. A lot of the fabric that I'm buying is actually grown in China or in Canada, but the majority is in China. And it would just be amazing if it were grown here, and it would be a lot cheaper as well, because right now it's definitely one of the more expensive fabrics out there.
Hemp for victory.
You know, the Chinese government, to their credit, they're really using hemp as a way of supporting rural poor farmers and paying, enabling them to, earn a decent income, and then producing all kinds of things for textiles and buildings. It's all happening over there. Realizing the dream of hemp in China. And it's like, well, gosh, this kind of sucks. It's China and not us, but they're doing it and showing the rest of the world this is what you can do.
Come on back. All right, that is an excerpt from Bringing It Home, a new video about industrial hemp out there. And we're going to run down a little show and tell items of the evening. This is a little box of hemp or cannabis, Indian cannabis. It says here it's narcotic and nerve sedative, antispasmodic, anodyne. You put 1 ounce of this, this is an ounce of cannabis was packed into this box, and into a pint of water. And a dose is a teaspoonful. So you take a teaspoonful of that little concoction. Now this is an Eli Lilly package of hemp extract. It was heavy oil extract, kind of like the RSO that's out there today, would be inside this little jar. And it tells instructions on how to use it, and it says it's an analgesic, a hypnotic, antispasmodic, and a powerful narcotic. Then right next door to it, this is from Eli Lilly. This also is an Eli Lilly product, and it's a powdered extract of cannabis. Powdered extract of cannabis would be powdered hashish. It'd be, you'd sift the resin off the cannabis flowers and put it directly into your medicine here, and it has instructions on how to use it on the back, but I'm not going to try to read that now. Then we have a big bottle. You can see this is fluid extract of cannabis. It's for preparation number 96. These three Eli Lilly products just represent about 30 different cannabis containing products that Eli Lilly had. This is from Fraser. It's an embossed bottle that says Fraser on the back. It's got a pistol. This is circa 1890. It says it's from Chapman Pharmacy in Roseburg, Oregon, and a cannabis indica. And this is a product from the Wyeth Company, a cannabis tincture product again. And this is a chloroform in cannabis product. It's Killicoff. A chloroform and cannabis. It'll probably just about knock you out. It's also got cherry syrup and pine syrup, and it's still got half the contents in there. So Killicoff. This one is a pure cannabis extract, and it's basically full and unopened. This is about 1920. See, they advanced to screw tops. This is probably one of the most entertaining ones here, and this is a full unopened bottle of these little capsules, and it's a sedative from Park Davis. If you can see, it says Park Davis right down here on the bottom, and it has coca or cocaine, it has arsenic, valerian, strychnine, extract of cannabis, and last but not least, a little codeine in there. So this stuff will just knock you out. I'd say it's a sedative, all right. I don't know about the cocaine, though. I don't know why they put the cocaine. That doesn't seem the opposite. Anyway, here we have a can of cannabis energy drink. Something I found out about all of these energy drinks recently is it has this stuff in there called taurine. If you look on your energy drinks, they all say taurine. It's kind of like Taurus and the bull and the Red Bulls out there. What taurine is actually bull semen. So your energy drinks contain bull semen, including this cannabis energy drink. Just so you know, just look on there, and when you see taurine, just think of the bull. Anyway, and it's not the bull poop. Anyway, then we have chocolate-covered hemp seeds. I've got to eat these someday. And then this hemp twine. So that's our hemp show and tell for tonight.
Seed, life, seeding life, and the earth is our mother, and the land is her flesh, and the water is her milk, and the oil is her blood, and we are her children. In this land we come from, of this earth we're made of, with us as future ancestors. given response, abilities to live. We are the future we bring. If we don't take care of the land, how can the land take care of us? Same with sky and air we breathe. Today is time to remember tomorrow. In the reality of we reap what we sow. The reality of land and life is in the seed. Seed has memory, memory of life. Wild seed memory, keeping alive, up close, face to face with the destroyers and their synthetic seed without memory. Toxic planting poison in earth and minds. Disregarding well-being for maximizing profits. Abandoning the children to massive debt. Making the price of freedom unaffordable at the expense of the many for the benefit of the few. Like a spreading mad human disease, chaosing minds with liars' promises, seeding old fears with new fears, life in the world of the money man. It's time to think our way out of what we believed our way into. How can we show respect to life if we don't use our common sense? Wild seed, life seeding life, and the earth is our mother, and the land is her flesh, and the water is her milk, and the oil is her blood. We are her children.
It is such a righteous message to the world that Seattle Hempfest is taking place on this beautiful day, and we're peaceful, we're proud, and we're calling it out loud, saying, end marijuana prohibition. We will never stop responsibly protesting until the day that everybody goes free, and that the doors open from the prisons and our brothers and sisters come out of those cages into the sun, into the air, and that the patients can be wheeled down with their IVs on their hospital beds and celebrate the victory. All of us together. It's coming. It's going to happen. The whole world, you know, we've had media at Hempfest Central. By the way, that's our store, Hempfest Central at 12351 Lake City Way Northeast. After 21 years of operating grassroots to our ass roots out of our homes, completely decentralized, we realized we couldn't do a 22nd year like that, and we have offices now and a little storefront. We're trying to pay the rent and all that stuff and pay this bill here. We've had media visits, television and newspaper media from BBC, Al Jazeera English, CNN, ABC, NBC, Mexican, Japanese, French, Russian media have all shown up. It's amazing. Yesterday I talked to Russia Today on the phone. I was on CNN, television, live. It's happening, folks. The whole world is watching Seattle, leading the way, proving we're not violent, we're not a threat, we're not criminals. We are a beautiful, mellow, spiritual, artistic community of Americans. We're individuals, and we're not a threat to anything except a bag of potato chips. And we're not going to stop speaking our truth to power, no matter how stressful or exhausting or intimidating it is to throw a Seattle Hempfest. We're going to risk it all as long as they let us do it. And one of the ways they're going to let us do it is if we all can clean this place up, get out of here safely with nobody hurt. Thank you so much, you guys, for 22 years of peaceful protest. It's frankly, it's just incredibly, it's as beautiful as you all are.
This one's for you, Seattle. I smoke 2 joints in the morning. I smoke 2 joints at night. I smoke 2 joints in the afternoon. It makes me feel alright. I smoke 2 joints in time of peace and 2 in time of war. I smoke 2 joints before I smoke 2 joints, and then I smoke 2 more. Oh, my daddy, he once told me, son, you be hard-working man. Mama, she once told me, son, you do the best you can. But then one day, I met that man who came to me and said, hard work good and hard work fine, but first take care of head. So now I smoke 2 joints when I get up. In the car I smoke 2 joints. I smoke 2 joints when I play video game. And at every 10,000 points I smoke 2 joints. I smoke 2 joints in time of peace and 2 in time of war. I smoke 2 joints before I smoke 2 joints, and then I smoke 2 more. But daddy once told me, son, you'll be hard-working man. Mama, she once told me, son, you'll do the best you can. And then one day, I met that man who came to me and said, what did he say? Hard work good and hard work fine, but first take care of head. So now I smoke 2 joints in the morning. I smoke 2 joints at night. I smoke 2 joints in the afternoon. It makes me feel alright. I smoke 2 joints in time of peace and 2 in time of war. I smoke 2 joints before I smoke 2 joints, and then I smoke 2 more. Smoke 2 joints, that's what I do. Smoke 2 joints. Legal up here. I need a real estate agent. That's what I do. Smoke 2 joints.
Now this is the whole reason marijuana is illegal. Yep. This is hemp seed oil with a hemp wick. and it is an illuminant. Hemp was an original illuminant before they used whale oil, before they were using petroleum. Hemp seed oil was one of the first illuminants used by humanity to light the first lamps, and that's just the whole reason it's illegal, because you can pour this hemp oil right into any diesel engine, turn the key, and drive it. Hemp oil produces 3 times more seed oil than any other plant on the planet. It also produces 3 times more fiber. And here's some hemp twine. This is produced in China. Hemp twine from China. So the main reason marijuana is illegal is because of hemp oil and hemp fiber. And marijuana laws were created to stop the oil companies from competing with hemp fiber, with the introduction of new machinery that made hemp fuel and fiber much less expensive and much less expensive to process. Much as the cotton gin had made cotton much cheaper to process 100 years before. This new machinery, the decorticator, had made hemp fiber much cheaper. So the fuel and fiber companies put together a misinformation campaign we know as Reefer Madness, and came up with this name marijuana based on racist lies, as the name marijuana proves. I mean, it's based on anti-Hispanic and people of color racist propaganda that was prevalent in the 20s and 30s. And so here is the whole reason that marijuana is illegal. It has nothing to do with drugs. Drugs are a smokescreen. It's really about fuel and fiber.
Exactly.
And we're going to do this every week, folks.
Well, and
I just love the hemp candle idea. So this is our flame of freedom that we're going to be talking about each and every show.
A year later, after a groundbreaking vote in its legislature, Oregon became the first state to completely decriminalize marijuana.
Here is a state that is not afraid to plow new ground in an area where there's a lot of hysteria. It's not going to be very widely understood, but I think as you look back over the handling of drugs, if you can keep it in for a few years, you'll see it was landmark legislation.
Thank you, and let me yield now to Mr. Blumenauer.
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman. I really appreciate this, and I've found the conversation here to be very useful, and I think you're highlighting the wide range of issues that are on people's minds. I hope there's an opportunity to continue it. Mr. Botticelli, how many marijuana overdose deaths were there in the most recent year you have available?
To my knowledge, I don't know if there have been instances of specific overdose-related
Well, no, you
deaths.
talked about marijuana deaths, and so I want to be clear. I'm trying to trap you.
No.
How many marijuana deaths have there been in the last 5 years?
So if you're referring to overdoses, I am not sure of those numbers. If you're referring to fatalities,
Then I would like to have you supply us with how many overdose deaths there were, because I have heard from experts whose judgment I respect that they don't know of any. So that would be really important for you to provide, at least to me, if not to the committee. What is more dangerous and addictive, methamphetamines and cocaine or marijuana?
so I don't think anyone would dispute the fact that there's relative toxicity related to those drugs.
What I asked
but I'm
was,
afraid,
what's more dangerous and what is more addictive? Cocaine and meth or marijuana? Pretty simple.
I think that conversation minimizes the harm.
No, I'm not trying to minimize the harm. I want to know which is more dangerous and addictive.
Again, I go back as as a public health person. One of the things that we look at is not what's the relative risk of one drug against
Let me just
another.
say that I think that your equivocation right there, being unable to answer something clearly and definitively when there is unquestioned evidence to the contrary, is why young people don't believe the propaganda, why they think it's benign. If a professional like you cannot answer clearly that meth is more dangerous than marijuana, which every kid on the street knows, which every parent knows. If you can't answer that, maybe that's why we're failing to educate people about the dangers. I don't want kids smoking marijuana. I agree with the chairman. But if the deputy director of the Office of Drug Policy can't answer that question, how do you expect high school kids to take you seriously?
So, Representative, I didn't mean to be disrespectful, and I didn't mean to indicate that there is not different degrees of toxicity associated with different
I asked
drugs.
what was more dangerous. You couldn't answer it.
No.
And I just want to say that you, sir, represent what's part of the problem. Let me go a little further.
So, sir, that's
Let's
exactly
talk
not
about
what I'm saying.
What kills more people, tobacco or marijuana?
There's been a fair amount of tobacco-associated deaths. My challenge, and the reason I'm hesitating about answering the questions as it relates to relative risk, is I think many times that conversation gets distorted, that there is no risk, that there's...
I'm not trying to trap you.
No. But this is why,
suggesting
Representative,
there's no
I don't
risk.
want to be disrespectful.
Let me suggest that your inability to answer me whether tobacco or marijuana is more dangerous, again, is part of the problem. Mr. Connolly documented very clearly that we have been able to drop dramatically tobacco use. And it kills more people than marijuana, if you don't know that. But we've been able to drop that without locking people up, without arresting. I think this administration has seen 3 to 4 million people arrested for marijuana since it's been in office. And yet we've been able to drop tobacco use without being coercive. We've been using fact-based advertising, and we've focused our efforts on things that matter rather than things that don't work. And I'd respectfully suggest that you and the department take a step back. If you're concerned that somehow people think marijuana is benign, that part of the reason is that drug professionals can't communicate in ways that the rest of America does. I appreciate your being here, and I welcome any written follow-up to my questions. Because I'm not trying to trap you, but I'm very discouraged by your inability to answer questions.
So let me tell you, this morning, I spent the bulk of my morning with a number of parents from across the country who are doing everything they can do to prevent drug use, and particularly prescription drug use, and many of them whose kids have died of an overdose. And I asked them, what more can the federal government be doing in terms of preventing substance use and preventing the tragedies? And they told me they cannot understand why states are moving to medical marijuana and legal medical marijuana. They cannot understand it because they understand from a very acute level the message that legalization sends them. And these are, so this is not from a bureaucrat in Washington. These are from parents who struggle on a daily basis and have been devastated by addiction and their kids. And they understand in a very dramatic and real way that legalizing marijuana sends the absolute wrong message to our youth.
I want to thank you folks for watching. We're going to go out with another great song with Mr. John Coronet. Thank you, Casper. Thank you, viewers. See you next week, and help us restore hemp. Good night.
There's a train coming, and she's already on the track. People changing, and for some there's no going back. Cannabis is more than just a weed. Cannabis, the tree of life to me.
Guy Dan.